Hello Edward, how are you doing? I'm sorry, I'm a little bit sick, so I hope it sounds good. But yeah, um, I don't know how long this is going to be. I'm going to try to show you the basics of how this works. I think this is what you asked me and how I do it, right? I recommend you to do it in the computer. It's much more comfortable, but if you have an iPad, you can do it on the iPad. Basically, do everything I just did. You can also do it on the iPad. The computer is nice because you have the keyboard and everything, and you can write down faster, and also with the mouse you can be a little bit more precise, right? So this is the operational flight plan, right? So this is what they are going to ask you in the school to have everything completed, right? um, Here you have put the departure airdrome. Okay, this is quite simple, right? Where you're going. In this case I'm just going to come back to the same airfield. This is alternate, your name, the day, it's today, and the aircraft you're going to fly. In this example, I'm going to use the India X-Ray Sierra. Okay, and well, here we're going to put the checkpoints for every checkpoint. So the first checkpoint is always going to be um, like Whiskey Point, Echo Point, November Point, or Sierra Point, right? So they're going to be the towns or whatever the airdrome use as a reference point, right? You're never going to calculate the distance from the airport itself to the airdrome. So sorry, to the reporting point. Okay. One thing you have to have in mind that because in the case I don't have the chart here, but in the case of here in Requena, we normally leave the waypoint, the communication points at 3,500 feet. So basically, every time you are going to put an altitude on your first point, normally it's going to be a climb. Depends on where you're leaving. Probably if you're leaving from Echo Point from 7 hours, you're going to descend to 2,500. But normally you're going to start from 3,500, climbing to 4,500, 5,500 or something, right? So let's say in this example we're going to leave through Sierra Point. So I just write here, Sierra Point, right? So this is going to start, and the first thing I need to know, so we need to know the top of climb and top of descent, right? These are the school, they don't never really ask for it, but they expect you to have at least have one waypoint, which is going to be your top of climb, and one is going to be your top of descent. If you don't know what's that, your top of climb is the altitude, is the distance you're going to take, or the time you're going to take, depending on the speed you're flying, to reach that specific altitude you are looking for, right? Sometimes it's going to take a few waypoints. Let's say I'm going to show you now, but sometimes you can just be climbing for two different waypoints, right? Like you get out of Sierra Point and then you go, I don't know, how is the name? You go to Sierra Point. Let's say you go to Cortes de Pages, right? So you leave Sierra here, and then you go to here, but you still, I don't know, you wanted to climb to 6,500 and you still didn't reach here. So all this part is not going to have a top of climb. Probably your top of climb is going to be somewhere here after you pass the first waypoint, right? So yeah. What else? So the way I start is that first of all, I want to know where I'm going to go. So I recommend you to use Insignia VFR. So here you're going to have all the information you're going to need about basically everything that is going to happen around you, right? So here you can see which altitudes you can use, which altitudes you should be flying, so you avoid getting out of Gulf airspace. So and also like to avoid any type of NOTAMs or anything. Like here in Cofrentes, we had this beautiful. See, they just changed this. I haven't used this for a while. So here you can change, and then here here overflying is prohibited, right? And you have to be between the surface and 5,000 feet, okay, of altitude. So if you are around here, you have to be above 500 feet, and the tower is going to let you know. It happened to me once. I was about to get into this prohibited area, and he let me know that I shouldn't fly that way, so I just head the other way because I couldn't climb because of weather. It was a really interesting situation. But yeah, so you have to have this aware, right? So if you're doing the performance of the aircraft and you see that, oh shit, I have to pass through here and I won't reach 5,500 by the time I am there, you need to divert your flight plan somewhere else so you avoid getting in there on a different altitude that you should be, right? So basically what I do here is just check which altitudes I have to fly, right? So this is not how to do with the weather. This has to do more with the operational procedures part, right? Which altitudes we can fly or not, right? So normally I try to be always at the highest they allow me, and then if I need, I just descend. And if I need to climb for any reason, I just ask for it because of weather, and they always give it to you. So in this case, leaving Sierra Point, we can be at 5,500. I don't know if you can see it here, and then 6,500 this way, right? So when you cross this line, you can already climb to 6,500, and you can fly 6,500 the whole way south, right? You have a limit somewhere. It's a little bit slow, so you have to be patient until here. Okay, and then you have to think of how the fuck I'm going to descend here, right? So before this, you need to use something as a way to know, like this cross part. You can use it as a, okay, from here on south I have to descend to 5,500, right? So you have to have visual checkpoints that are going to help you to know, okay, here I have to descend, here I have to climb, and sometimes you have to climb, okay, or sometimes you have to descend, you know. It's just the way it works with airspace. And you keep descending here, you will see 4,500. So this part is really helpful to know that which altitudes can you be during your flight. Okay, this is very important, and when they check your flight plan, they're going to check this mostly. And if they are going to doing, like, you know, they do one flight with you. I don't know how it's for PPL, but for us it's like a last flight with you. It's just, they just check that you did the homework correctly, and basically this is means like that you are not crossing any place wrong, or you are like just checking that everything is like, you know where you are, of course, but mostly is you're not crossing any place you shouldn't be crossing, right? Because they won't be able to study your flight plan depth enough to know your altitude. They're just going to check it that everything is alright, so they have to know that you know what you're doing with respect to this, right? And you can also see the NOTAMs here, the dangerous and the prohibited. There is a lot of information here, so I highly recommend to use this app. This website here, like this is a firing upper vertical, yeah, this is the shooting area from the military, so it's dangerous. I think it's just a delta. Yeah, it's a delta. So you can fly here, but at your own discretion, right? The tower is going to let you know that that's happening, and that's it, but you can fly over it. You can always ask also, like, hey, I'm not doing anything wrong here, like, you know, you can always ask the tower. So yeah, this is the part I use insignia for, right? First of all, this is, I want to know where I'm flying and what are the laws where I'm flying, right? Like, what's going wrong, right? During the Dana here, there was a big red thing to not fly over here, right? Here is quite dangerous. Like, it's not dangerous, it's quite complicated, north of Valencia. So if you wanna fly this way, just be aware of all these different deltas we have here, right? So there is other aircraft. Normally they are like, these are all military exercises. This is the biggest one. This rectangle here is until 12,500. The problem here is that you are only allowed in Delta, in Gulf airspace here to fly really low altitudes, like 4,500, and the deltas are also 4,500, so you have to fly at that altitude. You cannot go lower nor higher, so this part is a little bit tricky sometimes. Like here in this descent, here is for 4,500, I think, if I'm not wrong, and here you have to descend, so it's kind of like you're getting into the problem per se, right? But here is a big mountain. It's quite, when you're up there, it's quite intuitive, but the idea is that you have this in mind when you're flying up in the air. I don't know if you ever did one, but yeah, I'm just trying to explain everything so you have a little bit of an idea. So yeah, you have to be aware of this. This is the most complicated part for my point of view. But yeah, when we are done with this, we pass to the windy, right? Here we have half of the tools we need to fill up this, right? The other half we're going to find here. This is a calculator, okay? So we have Requena, right? So first of all, we have to know which town is Ponsierra. In this case, I know it by memory, but I don't have it. I tried to download the VFR chart for Requena, but I only find this one, and this one is shit. This doesn't let me know where are the points, where is Sierra, where is Whiskey, and all that shit. But yeah, whatever. So yeah, just know the town, know your surroundings. I'm sure you know them by now. But yeah, if you go in the menu here, so you click menu here, and then you go to distance and planification. Here you can have you can put waypoints with the mouse, right? So if I go to La Portera, I think is this one. I haven't done this in a while. So this is Point Sierra. You can also like move it. Like let's say you don't want to be exactly on top of the town for some reason. You want to be here. This is good. So imagine you're in the aircraft and you want to have the town on your left. You don't want to have it on your right because it's a little bit harder to see. Remember, we are flying low wing aircraft, so it's our visual capabilities looking down is a little bit more reduced than with the Cessna. Cessna with high wing let you see better. But yeah, this is up to you. Normally I would just go above and use the radio altimeter to be sure of where to go. So let's say first I want to go to Cortes de Payas. This is quite This is quite easy because it has a nice water pool here. So yeah, this is in kilometers. I have to start again, sorry. I just have to change. Sorry about this. I just need to. You just go to Ajustes y Settings. You put everything in. This is all as is waves, but it can be feet. Altitude in feet, elevation in feet, distance in nautical miles. Okay, so you just change that and satellite. I don't know what the fuck is that. But temperature in centigrades. That's good. Okay. So yeah, you have that done, and then you go again to distance and planning. Sorry, I haven't done this in a while, and I'm a little bit rusty, but yeah, hope it helps a little bit at least. Where is Requena? I lost Requena. There you go. Okay, so again, La Portera and Cortes de Payas. Okay. This is one leg, right? So here we have the distance, and if you go to more options, más opciones in this case, you can see the bearing. Remember, this is in true. This is not magnetic, okay? So we have to adjust 1 east, which would be 1 east is its least, so we have to decrease 1, if I'm not wrong, okay? Just verify that like small details, just verify. I'm just trying to show you the important matters. So here we have 12 nautical miles, 13 almost, from here to here, and we have the bearing, which is 141. This being the first part of the first leg, you're going to climb here. So the point is that you climb from 3,500 to 4,500, right? So what I would do is this. I would do all the charts of performance right now. So I will check the temperatures I have to see. So I will add another windy here. One is going to be the flight planning, and the other one is going to let me know which temperatures I'm playing with, and yeah, basically that. Okay, so if you click here, you will have the wind from where it's coming from, and the speed. Always round it up to 5 and 10, because if they know you're using windy, they're going to just, I don't know, they just treat you like shit because of it. It doesn't, for me, it doesn't make any sense, but that's a thing. So just rounded the numbers and you forget about it. Another thing you're going to get here is the elevation. Here you get the elevation of all the places, so you know, don't go lower than this, right? And this part is quite a good example of it because there's quite a few mountains here. It's quite beautiful. So yeah, you can get the wind here, which is viento in this case, and then you can get temperature, right? So here you have the temperature. This is the main source that we are going to use for our chart performance, right? Everything starts with temperature. I don't know if you know how to do a performance chart, but if you don't, I'm going to explain really fast. Always read it from the left to the right, right? All this shit. And then this is an example. You can follow the example. So the point is that first you do the altitude that you're at and the temperature that you're at. Okay, so in this case we have 7 degrees of temperature at 3,000 feet. We are going to start from 3,500, so we go to here and then we go to the reference line, right, which is here, and then you lower, and then you keep going, and then you lower, and then you keep going, and then you lower, right? So then from here and here, you're getting, from this line you're going to get the time, from this line you're going to get the fuel, and from this time you're going to get the distance. So after that, if you go to the temperature, you're going to be, which is going to be 6,500. It's going to be -3. This is right now. You will have to adjust this to the day you're going to fly, right? So don't forget to do that, because you're not planning for now, you're planning for tomorrow or whatever. So then you're going to do the same. So -5, -2 to 6,500, and then you do the same, right? Here, down, here, down, here, down, and then the distance between the two is going to give you the time, the fuel, and the distance, right? What I use is only the distance, but it's good to know the time also, okay? The fuel also, you can use it for putting on here on your flight planning, but normally I just use the full power setting, which is 12 gallons per hour. And what I do is, normally I do this in the iPad, and I would draw the whole thing. I have like a little I have a PDF, which means it says performance, and it has a climb, and it has have all these tables, but organized in order. Like, before I wanna know how much airfuel I'm going to take, right? So you do the takeoff performance chart, and then you see how much feet you're going to use. Normally I don't calculate with wind, I just use it as a reference. I just go directly and say, like, okay, without wind I'm going to take so much of runway. You're not going to take with tailwind, so yeah. And you can also use here for, which is really important if you wanna learn how to fly the aircraft correctly. Excuse me. Here I think it is. No, range. You can calculate the range. You can calculate endurance. I never do it. What I do calculate, well, landing distance also. If you wanna calculate the landing distance and ground roll distance, I used to do it a lot before. And I highly recommend you to always know how much airfuel you're going to use for takeoff and landing. It's a important matter and something you're going to use quite often in your life as a pilot, so get used to it, right? I don't know, I think it's somewhere around here. Yeah, economic cruise, NOISA, constant power. So here you're going to know how much fuel flow you're going to use depending on the setting of power you're going to use, right? If you're not that sure about this, don't worry about it, just ask, okay? If you have any doubt about how everything of this works, just ask, hey, I have this chart, I don't know how to use it, and you go to the class, to the school, and ask them. Normally I use this one, right? It's 65% power, base economy mixture, and it gives you 9.2 gallons per hour, right? And then, like, depending on the altitude you're going to use and the temperature is a deviation you're going to have. In this case, if we have 6,000 feet, 6,500 is -2. I have the calculator here. I'm just going to do the quick math. 2 times 6.5. is +2, so we have visa deviation is 4 minus right now. Okay, so you just go to 6,000, basically ESA. Okay, and then yeah, you just use these RPMs for the power, right? The schooler is not going to let you know how to use the engines correctly, because you have to take a lot of pictures off, right? So the point is you put almost full power on your throttle and reduce a mixture until you get these RPMs, right? But the problem with this is sometimes it's really close to turning off the engine. So I recommend you to reduce throttle a little bit, okay? And never go 2600, because sometimes asking for a lot of RPMs, and just reduce, instead of reducing that much the mixture, just reduce the throttle a little bit, so you still have some mixture to play around, and don't fuck it up and lose your engine by just playing with the mixture, which would be a really catastrophic situation, right? You don't want to do that. But then here you know that per hour you're going to spend 2.5, and this is how the plane should be flying. It flies much more faster, it feels much better with the trim, with the rudder and everything. Once I start to use these tables and use the aircraft this way with these RPMs, the aircraft flies beautifully, so much comfortable, so much fast. My true airspeed never went below 110 or 120. To airspeed, yes, it's normally 195, but yeah. So yeah, this is performance. I highly recommend you to get into this. It's really fun once you start doing it, but yeah, it's a little bit more of work. Not everyone does it. I highly recommend it, mostly if you want to study performance for the day after. It really helped me. If something made me pass performance on the finals, it was doing this every day, right? Believe it or not, it keeps you awake on this subject. But yeah, so we know temperature now. Let's say the calculations on the top of climb gives you, I don't know, 5. Okay, 5 nautical miles is going to take you to climb from 3,500 to 6,500, right? So what I do here to ease some calculations, I just put a waypoint in that 5. Okay, here is a 5.3. Just adjust it to until it says 5 or 4.9, 5.3. Okay, 5.3 is fine. Okay, just try to not change the heading, because you are not going to change the heading during that moment. Well, it's just playing with me here, just 1. Okay, but doesn't matter. You can change it anyways. It doesn't matter that much. It's 1 degree more, 1 degree less. It doesn't change much. But so yeah, you have this. So you already have the place where you're going to live, which is sorry, I'm going to put this here, Sierra Point, and then we have the top of climb, which is 7.5 miles away. It's 5.3 miles away. Okay, so I just put here top of climb. Okay, a magnetic heading, magnetic course. My magnetic course is going to be this one, -1, because of east 1, so it's going to be 140. And then the altitude is going to be climbing to 6,500. I'm going to be at 3,500. They already know that. You already know that. But you're going to be climbing, okay? So the point here is you're climbing. We are going to add this after. The true course, this is this, as it shows here, because it's true. 141. Okay, the true heading is going to be corrected by the wind, so we are not going to do that yet. The variation is 1 east, so 1 plus 1, so we leave that there. And then magnetic deviation is going to depend on the aircraft. So we go here, this is wrong, this is unupdated, but yeah, if anything, whatever. I would recommend you to take pictures of each aircraft with the correct ones, but yeah, that's up how much you want to work for it. So here is 141, so we'll use these two basically, and yeah, it's just one west, I think that means. if I'm not wrong. Check it yourself. If I'm making mistakes, I can make mistakes, okay? So basically between this and this one, nothing changed, right? I could be making a mistake with west here. I think it would be west if steer, if true, from true to magnetic, west is best. So if this is true, this is west, this is magnetic. So yeah, west is west. For my understanding, this is west. I could be being stupid here. Sorry if I make a mistake there, but yeah, don't be sure about everything I say. And here you put the distance, 5.3. Okay, 5.3. Okay, and here is the, so you just follow this, right? Distance, leg. So this is the distance of the leg, right? Here fuel and estimated time and all that shit that we are not going to touch anything, right? The only thing we can put here and be sure for now is our EAS, right? Our task we don't know it yet because we didn't do the calculations for temperature, and our ground speed we cannot know because we didn't do any calculations of wind yet. So the only thing we can know is that we're going to climb at 80 knots, okay? And during the whole flight, our EAS is going to be 95, right? Except if you're descending and how much power you're going to put. Okay, but this one we are not going to put yet. Another thing we know is the how much. No, here we don't put the. Sorry, I haven't done this in a while. But here you don't put anything of fuel yet. So yeah, we know this first leg done with the top of climb, right? And then we go to Cortes de Pages, right? So now we can just put the next leg. Here we just go, okay, Cortes de Pages. Okay, put the Cortes de Pages. What heading we have to follow? Magnetic heading is 142, so for 141. Okay. And now we are already after our top of climb. We're already at 6,500. So we just don't have to put climb anymore. We just put 6,500, right? Here again we put the correct heading 142 plus 1 and minus 1. Okay. And here we are going to put the last heading. So this is the compass heading you're going to use for your navigations on the aircraft. Now we are level off already, so our indicated airspeed is going to be 90. I recommend you to use 90, even though if you are flying faster, because you always want to be before the U plan, right? You never want to be behind schedule. You always want to be forward schedule. So plan for 90, 95. So you're sure that you're going to be where you want to be at the time you want to be, even though if you are a little bit early, well, you do some touch and goes and you're done, you know. And then you put the other distance, which is 7.3, okay? 7.6, sorry. Right? Yeah, that's how you keep going. Let's say this tricky way to do it, but let's say you want to do it, go to Alcoil directly, right? What I would do is, in the way, I'm going to look for different checkpoints, right? Like let's say here, Enguera, right? So you can just add a waypoint here, and then you put it here or here, somewhere around here is fine, right? And then you basically don't change your heading that much. You're going almost directly and you're saving a lot of time. I recommend also to not go the longer the leg, the easiest is to get lost. So if you do really short legs, it's easy to say, okay, I have to steer that course, and you see the town in the moment, so you never get lost, right? This is really well, but in this case there is not much features to be looking for here. It's a lot of mountains and it's not going to be easy. This is going to be a good feature to know your direction, you know, like you're heading basically the same way that the river is going, so you can just a little bit follow the river from the sides, right? But yeah, here you already have, let's say I'm just going to do a quick one, okay? Let's say we go to Castalla, Vinella, Caudete, Almansa, Ayora, Cofrentes. This is really easy to see. You can see the power plant, and then you head back to La Portera, right? The nice thing about this is that by just here you already know how much in total you're going to take, 122 nautical miles. So you just can go to the here at the end and you put total is 122. I think it's here, you put total is 122 and then 122, and then here you just with the calculator, this is so stupid to put the remainings, but I guess it's useful in case you have an emergency. You have to tell, hey, I'm this amount of miles from Requena or whatever. You know, it give you, like, you have the sheet there in the moment if you just need it. And the same with the fuel. If they ask you how much fuel you have an idea of how much fuel you have because of your calculations of your fuel, right? But yeah, let's say 222 minus 5.3, remaining is 1. As an example, I'm just going to put 116.7. Okay, and here also. So basically what I would do is just write all this shit and pass it to here, right? And then I'm going to use this to know which altitudes are going to fly, right? So I use this for measurements of distance and headings, and I use this to know which altitudes I have to fly, because I want to go to first of all Enguera, let's say. So I go here and I look for Enguera. Tourism Union, Chiva. Where the fuck am I? Cortes. Okay. Enguera. Okay, in Enguera I'm still at 6,500, so I can keep flying at 6,500 here, right? But I'm keep going south to Alcoy. Alcoy still can go 5,500. No, sorry. Yeah, I can keep going at 6,500 here. It's all good. But then when I travel to in my flight plan, where the fuck I'm going? I'm going to Castalla. Here, right? So here's the town. So when I cross here, I have to know that I have to descend to 5,500, right? And then when I go to Villena, I also have to descend to 4,500. I think I go to Villena, I'm not sure. Yeah, I go to Villena. So I have to know that I have to descend to 4,500. So I have to have a decent account to write it down here, right? And also if you need to do any calculations of performance, you also do them, okay? Okay, after you descend to 4,500, how much time is going to take you to climb again to 6,500 in the case you want to go, when you go back to Almansa, in Almansa you can be at 6,500, for example, or you just keep flying at 4,500 the whole flight. That also going to depend on the wind or whatever you see fit for yourself. Sorry, this is taking a little bit, but yeah. It's not an easy subject to explain it at once, right? It would be better for me to be there with you, but whatever. I hope this helps a little bit. So yeah, when you have all this write down here, right, we're going to do one more thing with this. So now we have these two, right? So we have the one that it gives you the flight plan, and we have the one that gives you all the information that we need for temperature and winds, right? So here we can modify the altitudes. I don't know if you remember, but climbing you use 2/3 of the altitude that you're climbing to, or when you're descending you use half of the climbing. So 2/3 would be roughly 5,000 feet, between 3,500 and 6,500. Would be half, but not half, but almost half. It doesn't matter. I use just something close, it should be fine. So in this case it says it's going to be 1 degree. Okay, so I just go here and then put estimated temperature. Okay, we put 1 degree, okay, and then go click here and you go to wind, and then you have, holy shit, tomorrow is horrible, but yeah, 30 knots and southwest, southwest, yeah. There is a way here to put it in numbers. I don't remember how to do it. I'm supposed to have all this already fucking done, but okay, here, numerico. Okay, so you know already how to do this also. Okay, so we're going from here to here, and then you have the number already. This also rounded up to 200, let's say it says 242, just put 240 or 40 or 245. Okay, so it's 3000. Direction of the wind is 240 and the velocity is 30. Oh, sorry, 30. Okay, so we have the direction, the velocity, and the temperature, right? And this is the actual. Okay, we are never going to fill this up because unless you are really good, check it out if you want to try to do it, but calculating that is going to be hard. And this is for the top of climb because we are at 5,000, but when we go to 5,400, which is 6,500, we have more. So here we put new wind is 250 and 350. Okay, I round it up again. Okay, and temperature. Okay, -2. So we write -2. Okay, so this is our wind set up already. Okay, wind and temperature and velocity is going to give us the wind correction angle, okay, which is going to give our true heading, which is going to give us our magnetic heading, and with the deviation done, we have the compass heading that we're going to use in our aircraft, right? And all this information is also going to give us our TAS thanks to the temperature, and our ground speed is going to be thanks to the wind and the wind correction angle that we're going to be applying and the angle we have to correct for all that shit, right? And then we get the ground speed done. And of course, with ground speed and distance, we get our estimated time of arrival, of en route, sorry, and estimated time of whatever. Okay, HTO. I don't remember all this shit. Give me a sec. Estimated time. I don't remember. Maybe doing it, I will remember it. But yeah. So we have all this information. This is what we need, right? Sorry. This is the time, the amount of minutes this leg is going to take. Okay, and this is the hour exactly that you're going to be at that time. So imagine you're leaving at 9:30, and then I always calculate 20 minutes of leaving the airfield. So getting to Point Sierra, I put 20 minutes. So let's say the time off is 9:30, right? I wouldn't put it like this, but just to show it to you, 9:30, right? 090. There you go. So I would add, let's say this takes me, I don't know, just to put an example, 5 minutes. Okay, I just do it like this. Let's see if I have, fuck, I always use the iPad for this shit, so I don't know but yeah, imagine this is 5 minutes. I normally put one tick or double tick for seconds. So imagine, so 9, so 09 plus 20, which would be 50, plus 5, so it's 55. Okay, so this is the amount of time it's going to take me to do the route, and this is the hour I'm going to finish it, right? So when I'm in flight, I just put, okay, with my timer, Pimba, 5 minutes. Okay, it didn't took me 5 minutes, it took me like 4:45, let's say. So I'm going to be there in 9:54. Okay, and then you write down. So this is the actual, and this is the estimated. Okay, but I'm going to show you how to calculate that in a moment. So that's the hardest part from my point of view. Calculations are easy, mostly if you use this, right? So this is a really good page, E6PX. This is amazing. Navlog, okay? There is a lot of things to do here. You can practice IFR in this app. It's really useful for basically fucking everything, okay? Here we have to put calculate task using EAS, okay? And then we put the true course first. So I'll put this here. True course is going to be this one, okay? So 141, right? Altitude that I'm going to fly. I'm going to be climbing to 6,500, so I'm going to put somewhere roughly between them. Okay, outside air temperature is 1 degree. Indicated airspeed is going to be 80. Right, so the point of this is that you don't have to think about anything. You just copy paste, right? Yeah, give me a sec. I need some coffee. Um, so yeah, basically that, right? We're going to have all the information here. We just traduce it to here, and then this gives you all the calculations you need, and then you traduce those back here. Okay. So we got 80 indicated airspeed, and now true wind direction. Okay. So it's this one. Thank God wind gives us true, doesn't give us magnetic. So 240, and then wind speed 30. Okay. Now magnetic variation and magnetic deviation, you can just do this by head, right? So you don't have to put anything there. You can put here the name if you want, Sierra Point, and then the distance 5.3, which is this one. Okay. And then fuel per hour. Okay, now is when we start with fuel. Okay, we have to know how much fuel we're going to have. I don't have any chart with me because my iPad got a little bit fucked up, and I don't have any of my previous. I cannot send you any of my examples, shamefully. But yeah, normally I think I put here is 48 the top that you can have, but because you're already flying, you did a run up, you did everything. I think I put 46.5, 46. I don't remember. I put something like that. I calculate like 20 minutes or something. I don't remember exactly how I did it, but yeah, 46, 45, 45.5, something like that. You remember, you're not going to have the whole tank, you know. Let's put 45.5. You can do some calculations about it after if you want to. But yeah, and then you calculate your fuel per hour, right? So full power, that's what we're going to be doing because we're going to be climbing. You're not going to climb with less power than full power. It's going to be 12 for what I understand, okay, or what I use normally, okay? So we put 12, and here it already tells you how much fuel is going to be used in that leg and how much fuel you have remaining, okay? So this is fucking amazing. You don't have to calculate anything here. You just have to copy paste and you get everything. So let's go back again here, 142. Now we already are at 6,500. The temperature is -2, so -2. Our indicated airspeed is going to be 90 already because we are level off. We have 250 and we have 35. Okay. Cortes de pages or cortes. It's not going to let you write the whole big name here, so don't expect to have too many letters. And 7.6. And now is when, if you did your calculations for the aircraft, at the start I wouldn't do the calculations. I didn't do them because I don't know, lazy, but I just didn't care about it. But after a while I got a little bit more mature on the whole flight planning, and I understood that performance is something important for us, so I start doing them, and then I start to apply this table, right? So I use this one, 65%, and this gives me best economy mixture is 9.2, right? You can use this, but if you are not going to touch the mixture, I would put 10, right? But if you are going to touch the mixture, 10.2. Okay? In this case, I'm going to put 9.2. Yeah. Imagine doing this for all the things. You can just add more here, and then you can save it also. You save it and you can leave it like in a folder, and then when you open it again, you just have the whole thing done. You just change the winds. I normally would do it every time again because I didn't care that much, but I have friends that just have them, so they just, if they need it, they just open it and then just change the winds and the wind speed, and then they have everything done, and the temperature, and then they have everything done basic. Okay, I never do it because it took me so little time doing this that I didn't care that much. And here you're going to go also the total distance. You're going to, here is 0.6, I put 9. You're going to get the total distance, the total time you're going to take in minutes, and the total amount of fuel, and also the remaining. Okay, so all this information is going to be needed to put it here, right? So first of all, let's start with what do we want to start? We're gonna start with, like, I always do it like in this order. So in this case, first let's do the wind correction angle, right? So wind correction angle is here. Wind correction angle, simple. 20 degrees. 20 degrees plus. That means we had to add, okay, to our true heading, right? So it's 20. You can put plus here. Some structures want you to put plus, sometimes don't. Like, oh, give a fuck. It depends of everyone. Put the plus and no one is going to bother you. Plus 20 and 140, 162. 62, okay? And now we have east is list, so we put 610, 611, and then west is best, so we have to add 161, 162, okay? And then you have your compass heading already. That easy. Done. Fuck it. Easy. Let's go with speeds now. True airspeed. True airspeed showing here. 86. 86. 98. 98. Normally I would do one first and then the next one. So like this. And then ground speed. Here we have ground speed. It's, I didn't read it, 85. Okay, so basically it's almost the same in the true. The actual, you're going to calculate it between dots. You're going to calculate it during the flight, right? Here we're going to have the time. Okay, that is going to take you to fly this leg, and here it says it's going to take 3 minutes. 0.7. So 7 we have to multiply by 5. If by 6 I think is 42, if I'm not wrong. I haven't done this in a while. Yeah, 42. Yeah, I think it's 42. Okay, so 3 minutes, 42 minutes. I fucking don't remember how to. I never used the keyboard for this, but yeah, let's say 4:42. Okay, let's say that's minutes, seconds. Okay, 4 minutes 42. And now let's say you take off at this hour. We have 20 minutes. So 09:55. Basically, you just round this number, always the highest, so you're sure that you're not going to be late. You're going to be early, right? And this actual is the real one that you're going to calculate, right? So normally the ones below are the ones you're going to calculate. You're going to see yourself on the aircraft, right? This is with your timer and stuff. And now fuel. How much fuel we're going to take in the leg? 0.5, 0.75. Sorry for my clumsy hands. And then how much fuel we're going to have left? 44.75, right? Yep. And we start with 45.5. Okay. And then we do the next leg. Basically, we all did most of the job. Just ground speed 103, 103. Time is going to be 4.4, which is 24, so 4 minutes 24 seconds. Okay, basically that means 10 o'clock. Let's say, to say something, you could put, if you want, you can put 59 or something. I just rounded to the biggest number. And then we put also the actual fuel use, 0.68. And then how much you have reserve. So 44.07. Wait, shit, fuck. Right? So yeah, basically that's it, because these ones you don't have to fill them up. This one you fill it up on the flight. So when you do this, basically you say, okay, I'm close enough to this to this number. So if you're close enough, then the ground speed should be similar. Okay, if you see that you're much faster, just add a few knots as you see fit, or do the calculations yourself in the moment if you want to do it. But yeah, also the time is going to vary. Normally what I do is put this time by my chronometer, and then I just put the hour correctly, because normally the thing that is going to vary the most is this one, because I put 20 minutes as a exaggerated example, but sometimes it takes me like 7 to 10 minutes only to be on the spot, right? And also sometimes it takes more time. Okay, sometimes it takes a little bit more because your engine is cold or something, and you take a little bit more time to cool it. Yeah, give me a second. Okay, the last part and the most fucking annoying one. No, I think the most annoying one would be this one. But yeah, just so you know. In another video, in another moment, I can explain you how to put this. These are going to be the identification of the VOR, because you have to know your position through a VOR, kind of, to, in case you get lost, you know how to go to the VOR. Use the VOR to be to these places, right? So here you put the identification in this, let's say, caches, right? The frequency, I don't remember the frequency. Fuck. 116, I think it was 0.10. I don't remember. And here you put the radial in magnetic. Okay, let's say 248. Now it should be south, or let's say 192, I think it is. Distance, I don't know, 15 miles. I don't know, right? So, but this is, I'll show you later. I can show it to you now if you want to. You can do this here. The problem with this is you have to know where the fuck your VORs are, right? You have to know physically in the map where the fuck are they. In this case, I know caches is somewhere around here. Here, you see this little leg here? I think it's here, right? So you put there, and then let's say Point Sierra here, right? And beautifully, here you have the distance, and you also have the bearing. You just have to be aware that you have to make it magnetic, because this is true, so you have to take one. So then you have sorry, here, so it would be 95 and 19, I think it was 19.3, I think it was, yeah, 90.3. Now, to know the frequency, I know the name of the VOR. You can do it here. This is a beautiful tool. You just go to where the it's not showing now. I don't know if I don't have it. It should be here. Sorry, they changed this up. It wasn't like this before. Here. Is this one? Yeah, it's this one. So just click here. There you go. And here you have the name. Where is the frequency? It's so weird. Why doesn't give you the frequency? Like normally it says here like caches, the call sign and the frequency. I don't know what's happening, but yeah, normally you should get it from there. I don't know. They just changed the page here. I don't know what they did, but yeah, normally here in Valencia also. So yeah, but the good thing is that at least here you have to you kind of know where it is by the shape of things, right? So let's say you wanna go for Valencia Airport instead of Calles, because it's closer in this case, I think. So you go for the airport. The airport is somewhere around here. I don't. There you go. Here it is. And then you see the shapes of the taxiways, and then you can like kind of know where the thing is, right? And at least it's roughly there. It's good enough for you to know distances and bearings, right? And then you do that with every place. So you just go here, and now Cortes de Pages, you just put here, and then you put here Valencia instead of Calles. The top of client doesn't need to have the thing. I think it was 114.85, but I don't remember exactly. Maybe 85 it was, I don't remember, but whatever. Doesn't matter. You just look it for yourself. Find knowing how to find something is a nice homework. 26.1. And then you have all this filled it up, and people are going to love it. So yeah, and then we go this part, which gives you, well, basically this information is the same in this one. So here you have to put the elevations. Elevation of recognized 2340, and if I'm not wrong, it's 4010, the 410, the one in Valencia. I haven't done it in a while, so excuse me. And I don't have any reference right now. I wish I have one here on my iPad, but I lost. I don't know, my iPad is fucked up, and I cannot check for myself. But yeah, here I recommend you to put ATIS ID. This is more for like when you're in flight and you write down here like okay, wind this much, visibility this much, ceiling cloud this much. This is what you get from the ATIS, right? When you take off and you check for the frequency of the ATIS and you check all this shit, right? KNH trend. This is really nice too. Normally what I do is just write it down on the map I'm flying on. I just in the sea or something, I just write down everything, right? For me it's more comfortable, but if you want to use this, you can use this one also. Here you have to put the frequencies, so you put ATIS, you put ground for Requena. For Valencia, I recommend you to put the tower of Valencia, put it here just in case, put the departure one, and others I normally put like Castellón or like open radio communications where you don't have any controller airspace. And here, this is a nice tool to have. Sometimes ATC is going to tell you about a specific NOTAM you're going to be flying to, so just be aware of the NOTAMs that you have. Let's say you want to go to this part, you have this one, right? Just go here until you find this one, right? So you write down this one, right? You write this information here, so Control C, you can put this everything. Everything you need, right? And then you have this done. And like say sometimes the tower just say it without any doubt, like Delta 0478 dash 25. You're like in the Sierra, you're going to get in the Delta 04785, and then you read it, it's like okay, yeah, that's the one already saw, and then it's like yeah, I'm aware, I'm flying northeast or whatever, you know. Just be aware of your NOTAMs. This is a good practice for you to have it in mind. And before we had like the 2078, I think it was the one that was fucking it up with Valencia here, so you have to have it in account. So let's say you fly here also, this area here, which is quite problematic, so you just write this one, right? Like this, Control C, and fuck it, you know, you have all the information of the NOTAMs that you need, right? Like the written information that you need about it. And now these fuel calculations and fuel required, this is the last part. This is a little example. I recommend you to put the correct distance for climb and cruise. In fact, you are just going to cruise, because if you leave Valencia at 4,000, if you leave Requena at 4,500, this is all going to be cruise. I have like an example of it. It's going to take me, I think it was 30 minutes instead of 20, but yeah, just calculate the same way, but going to Valencia, to Sierra Point or something, the Valencia, and then you put it here, right? And then here you have to put the amount of distance you're going to be climbing. So you go here, and whatever you say climbing, you just copy and pass and add whatever climb you're going to do, right? And then just put it here, the sum of everything. Here the time, here the fuel flow, and here the fuel, right? Normally here is going to be the same number for everything, 12, because it's fuel flow for the thing. This is going to be an add. This is going to be add of everything, right? Cruise is also going to be always the same. So for fuel flow it all is always the same. Descent, that's just up to you. Normally I would put 10, because you don't want to descend with mixture cutoff, so you're never going to be a 92. But sometimes if you want to calculate with full power descent, then you use 12, right? I never do it. I just descend at the same RPMs I would cruise, but yeah, without cutting off the mixture, because you shouldn't descend with mixture cutoff. Is part of the checklist, which I highly recommend you to check every time you fly. And then this is going to give you a subtotal before everything, and then you have to put the reserves here, which is 30 minutes. So how much distance 30 minutes mean, how much time when it's 30 minutes, how much fuel flow you're going to take in those 30 minutes. 10 or 90, put 2. How much fuel? That means 5. It's stupid, but it's there. Taxi out, I don't have any numbers to give you about it, but I think we were using like 3.5 pounds of fuel, and we calculate like 10 minutes, I think, of taxi out. So you just can put that here. Distance, you don't have to put anything, but time and fuel flow, and maybe time and fuel is something you have to add here, and then just add everything up, and then you got the totals, right? You just don't want to be below your maximum, so you don't want to use all your fuel. You have to have an average of your fuel flow, the total time in minutes you're going to take, and the distance, right? And that's it. Don't press here because it's going to clean everything up. Everything. It's not funny. And yeah, that would be it. If you have any particular doubts about anything, just send me a picture and let's see if I can give you a hand, or I can send it to someone that knows better than me and give you a hand also. So yeah, Edward, I hope this helped. This is amazing. This is going to save you most of the time, and this is what's going to take the most of the time at the end. But if you start to do it, you start to love it. It's a wonderful experience to know how much distance is going to take you to take off, how much time, and sometimes mostly this is wrong, but it's a good practice to do it and have a really good knowledge of what's going to happen in the engine, right? Because this is a lot about the aircraft performance, right? Like knowing what your aircraft is capable of doing is really important. If you want, this is a lot of work, right? But that's up to you. Is see, because you work and everything, so it's a little bit more harder for you. But glide distance you can also calculate, which is going to be really helpful for you to know, like, hey, I'm in the middle of the mountains. Do I have enough distance to glide to that river or to whatever? Like, have an idea of where the fuck to go. If you lose, we have only one engine, so if you lose that, well, but yeah. That's a nice thing about this, about performance. You just can like go as deep as you want, and I don't think there is a top, of course, but there is also a top of time, so we cannot calculate everything, right? But there are a lot of good practices that can come from doing a lot of performance, also for the exams later on in your life, and your, I think, at your knowledge as a pilot, performance is a subject really important for us. Which, if you are used to do this, then after life is going to be really easy for us. But yeah, and this also is really important. Know where the fuck you are and what are you going to do, and which features you can find yourself, or which type of situations you're going to find yourself. This is going to give you a really big advantage in planning, right? Another nice thing about this is this. No satellite, no. As we finish. Map. This. Use this for everything. Fuck it. When you're here, now it's closing up because I lost all the flight plan, but use this. It gives you the roads, like is correct, and like the towns, the size of the towns, the names, like the features of it. It's really complete, mostly because of the features. And yeah, that's that. I'm sorry it got a little bit long, but this is not a short subject. But yeah, at least with this you have like an example, like a 2-line example of how to go for. You're going to make mistakes. Don't expect to be everything correct. And my biggest advice is just ask you to your instructor any doubt you have. They're the professionals on this of teaching, so they're going to let you know what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. And I make mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes, and you have to be aware that I'm a human also. And yeah, I'm sure you know that I bleed and I cough like a normal human being. But yeah. I hope you enjoy your routines, bro. This is the most fun part of everything. But yeah, in Argentina we have a say like for every hour of flight we have 2 hours of preparation, basically. So take that in mind. Yeah, don't take 4 hours. Take an hour at least for a 2 hours flight. But take your time, do it correctly, and it's going to make your flying much more pleasant But yeah, and sometimes you have to be ready to improvise in the moment. But yeah, which is also really fun. But it's better when you're really prepared. Yeah, I think that's it. See ya, bro. I hope it helps, and I hope it looks good too. I hope the picture of the image is good enough. See you later.